Welcome back to the podcast.
Hi everyone, let's learn some English.
Hello and welcome back to my English channel. I'm really excited to be here with you today. If this is your first time watching, please hit the subscribe button and give us a like. Today I'm feeling really good, energized, and ready to get started. I'm feeling fantastic as well. I just finished organizing my bills for the month, so I feel responsible and productive. That actually connects perfectly to today's topic because we're going to talk about something very important and very practical. Today's topic is money, budgets, and spending habits. This is an extremely important subject because everyone needs to talk about money at some point, whether with family, friends, or at the bank. Money conversations can feel difficult in English, but we'll make them easier. Let's start with a simple question. I do have a monthly budget, and I try to follow it every month because it helps me control my spending. I also understand that budgets are not always easy to follow, even when we have good intentions. First, let's talk about income, which is the money you receive. Some people get paid once a month with their salary going into their bank account on a specific day. Payday always feels good when it arrives. Other people get paid twice a month every 2 weeks. Getting paid more often can help some people manage their money better. After getting paid, the first thing many people do is pay rent. Rent is usually the biggest expense each month, so it's smart to pay it right away to avoid forgetting. Rent can take a large part of your income. Some people pay around 40% of their salary just for rent, while others pay closer to 35%. Housing is very expensive these days, and rent is often the largest monthly cost. After rent, most people pay their utilities. Utilities include electricity and water bills, and these are usually paid at the beginning of the month. For some people, utilities might cost around $80 or $90 total. Electricity bills can be higher in the summer because air conditioning uses a lot of power. Many people also have a phone bill and an internet bill every month. These bills usually stay the same, which makes them easier to plan for. These regular bills are called fixed expenses because the amount doesn't change. But there are also variable expenses which change every month. Groceries are a good example. Some months you spend more on food and some months you spend less. I usually spend around $250 to $300 on groceries. I try to buy healthy food, but healthy food can be expensive. Fresh fruits and vegetables cost a lot, so sometimes I buy frozen vegetables because they are cheaper and that helps save money. Now let's talk about eating out. I try not to eat at restaurants too often because it's expensive, but sometimes on Friday or Saturday night I go out with friends maybe twice a month. Each time I spend about $40 or $50. That means around $80 to $100 a month on restaurants, which feels reasonable. I actually eat out more often, maybe 3 or 4 times a month, which is closer to $150. Eating out is fun and feels like a small luxury. Coffee is another big expense. I buy coffee almost every day at a shop near my office. One coffee costs about $4. 5 days a week, that's $20 a week, which adds up to around $80 a month just for coffee. Coffee is my weakness too, but I make it at home to save money. Buying coffee every day can cost $80 a month, but making it at home costs maybe $15. That's much cheaper. Still, convenience and atmosphere sometimes make people spend more. Everyone has different priorities. Now let's talk about transportation. I take the subway to work and buy a monthly pass that costs $90. With that pass, I can ride as much as I want all month, which is a good deal. I have a car, so my transportation costs are higher. I pay for gas, insurance, and parking. I spend about $150 on gas, $100 on insurance, and $80 on parking, which totals about $330 a month. That's much more expensive than public transportation, but having a car is very convenient. I can go anywhere without waiting. Now, let's talk about debt. I have a student loan for my university education, and every month I pay about $200 toward it. I still have about 5 years left to pay, which feels long, but I'm making progress. I don't have a student loan, but I do have credit card debt. Right now, I owe about $800 on my credit card. The interest rate is very high, around 18% per year. Because of that, I try to pay more than the minimum payment. This month, I'm paying $150 toward my credit card debt. That's smart because minimum payments take forever. Credit card interest is terrible, so I try to avoid using my credit card now. I use cash or my debit card instead because it helps me spend less. Now, let's talk about savings. I try to save money every month, but it's not always easy. My goal is to save 10% of my income. If I earn $3,000, I want to save $300. I don't reach that goal every month. Sometimes I save less because of other expenses. Unexpected costs like car repairs can stop savings completely. That's why having an emergency fund is so important. An emergency fund is money you save for unexpected situations like car repairs, illness, or losing your job. It gives you security and helps you stay calm when problems appear. Financial experts say you should save enough money to cover 3 to 6 months of expenses. That sounds like a lot. If monthly expenses are about $2,500, that means saving between $7,500 and $15,000 for emergencies. I know it sounds big, and I'm still working on building my emergency fund too. Right now I have about $2,000 saved, which is progress. Some people only have about $1,000 saved and want to build more. We're all working on it. Saving money is a process, and it takes time. Now let's talk about fun expenses like subscriptions. I have a few subscriptions. I pay $15 a month for Netflix, $10 for Spotify, and $40 for a gym membership. That's $65 total. Other people have fewer subscriptions like Netflix and a meditation app, which can cost around $20. Exercising at home saves money. Hobbies are another expense. I love reading, so I buy 2 or 3 books every month, which costs around $40 to $60. Some people spend their money on video games instead, maybe $50 or $60 a month as a way to relax after work. Everyone needs entertainment. Entertainment is important for happiness. Some people also donate money to charity. I try to donate about $25 a month to a children's charity. Others donate to animal shelters, maybe $20 a month. It's not a huge amount, but every little bit helps. When I add up my expenses, the total comes to about $2,100 a month. That includes rent, utilities, phone and internet, groceries, restaurants, coffee, transportation, credit card payments, subscriptions, books, and donations. I also try to save $300 each month. That means my monthly budget is around $2,400. My income is about $3,000 a month after taxes. After expenses and savings, I usually have around $600 left. That gives me some breathing room, which feels good and less stressful. With that extra money, sometimes I save it, and sometimes I use it for fun things like concerts, trips, clothes, or gifts for my family. Other people have similar situations with expenses around $2,800, savings of $400, and income around $3,500. That means there's still a little money left each month. The most important rule of money is not spending more than you earn. If you do, you go into debt, and debt is very stressful. So let's talk about some good tips for managing money. First tip, track your spending. Write down everything you spend for 1 month so you can see where your money goes. Many people don't realize how much they spend until they track it, and then they can find places to save, like cutting back on takeout food. Second tip, make a budget. List all your income and all your expenses, and make sure your expenses are less than your income. Third tip, pay yourself first. That means saving money before you spend on anything else by putting money into savings as soon as you get paid. Fourth tip, avoid unnecessary debt. Don't buy things with a credit card if you can't pay it off quickly. Credit card interest is very expensive. Fifth tip, build an emergency fund. Start small. Even $500 can really help in an emergency. Sixth tip, look for ways to reduce expenses. Small changes truly add up. If you save $10 a week, that's $40 a month and $480 a year. That's a lot of money over time. Now let's review some important money vocabulary we use today and practice these key words together. Let's start with the word budget. A budget is a plan for your money. It shows how much money you have and how much you plan to spend. You can say, I made a budget for this month, or I need to stick to my budget. A budget helps you control your money. It's like a map for your finances. Next word, expenses. Expenses are things you spend money on, like rent, food, or gas. You can say, my expenses are very high this month. We talked about 2 types of expenses. Fixed expenses stay the same every month, like rent. Variable expenses change, like groceries. Now let's talk about the word income. Income is the money you receive, usually from your job or salary. Income is money coming in, and expenses are money going out. If your income is higher than your expenses, you can save money. Next important word is debt. Debt is money you owe because you borrowed it and need to pay it back. For example, if you owe $500 on a credit card, that is debt. A student loan is also debt. You can say, I'm trying to pay off my debt. Debt isn't always bad, but too much debt can be very stressful. Now, let's look at one more useful word: afford. To afford means to have enough money to buy something. You can say, I can't afford a new car right now, or can you afford to go on vacation this year? If you can afford something, you have enough money for it. If you can't afford it, it's too expensive for you. This word is very common in money conversations. Let's quickly summarize the key words we learned today. Budget is your plan for money. Expenses are what you spend. Income is money you receive. Savings are money you keep for later. Debt is money you owe. And afford means having enough money for something. These words help you talk about money clearly. Try making your own sentence using these words and write it in the comments for practice. Today we covered many practical topics about budgeting and money management in English. It was a long conversation, but very useful for real life. Let's summarize what we learned today. Today we practiced how to talk about money, budgets, and spending habits in English. This is an essential conversation skill. We started with income using phrases like, I get paid once a month, or my salary is, which help you talk about the money you earn. Then we discussed expenses. We talked about fixed expenses like rent, utilities, and subscriptions, and variable expenses like groceries and entertainment. We also practiced saying how much things cost, with phrases like, my rent is $1,000, or I spend about $300 on groceries. We also talked about saving money and building an emergency fund, shared tips for managing your budget better, and reviewed key vocabulary: budget, expenses, income, savings, debt, and afford. These words are essential for any conversation about money. Now you have the tools to talk about your finances in English. You can discuss your budget with a roommate, talk about expenses with your family, or have a conversation at the bank. This is a very useful skill because money is part of everyday life, and being able to talk about it clearly in English is important. Now it's time for our favorite part of the video, the part where we hear from you. Today's question is, what is your biggest expense every month? Tell us what you spend the most money on. Is it rent, food, transportation, student loans, or something else? Everyone's situation is different, so please share your answer in the comments. You can write something like, my biggest expense is rent. It costs $800 a month, or my biggest expense is my car payment. I pay $350 every month. Any answer is fine. When you write in the comments, you're also practicing your English. This is a safe and friendly place to practice. Don't worry about mistakes. Just try. Please use some of the vocabulary we learned today, like expenses, budget, or afford. We read many of your comments and love learning about your lives and what topics you want to study next. If you see someone else's comment, feel free to respond. You can say, that's similar to me, or that's interesting. It's a great way to practice conversation. We're very grateful for this community of English learners who work so hard every day to improve. Learning a language takes time and effort, but with consistent practice, you will keep getting better. Please keep practicing. Try having a conversation about money in English this week, with a friend, a family member, or even by yourself in front of a mirror. Remember to like this video if it was helpful and subscribe to my English channel so you don't miss our next conversation. For next time, we might talk about shopping, like buying things, returning items, or asking for discounts, or maybe health and going to the doctor. Please tell us in the comments what topic would help you the most. We want to create content that helps you learn the English you truly need in real life. Thank you so much for spending this time with us and for learning and practicing together. You are all doing an amazing job. Keep up the great work. Have a wonderful day and a wonderful week, and we'll see you next time on Everyday English Academy. Keep learning, keep practicing, and see you very soon.